Queso is my favorite streamer. He's actually been the one who's introduced me to a lot of games. He has revived my love for Subnautica, he introduced me to simpler games like TCG Card Store Simulator and Supermarket Simulator, as well as introduced me to incredible indie horror games like Order 13 and Flashing Dark. But the main game I learned about through Case was a story-driven horror game, where each episode is based on a true story sent in by real people. A game called Fears To Fathom. Now I know I'm a little late to the game, as I know it's been around for a while, as the first episode released in July 2nd of 2021, but it's a game I've learned about very recently, and I fell in love with it. Horror games, especially these days, are just not scary. Not that I don't like them. I am one of the biggest Poppy Playtime defenders and fans you'll ever meet. I'm actually planning quite a few videos on Poppy Playtime as it is one of my favorite horror games ever. But I don't think most modern horror is very scary, with a couple exceptions like Resident Evil 7 and Silent Hill 2 Remake. I think it adds a level of genuine fear to the game that these are real stories. So I thought it would be cool to give my opinions on the entirety of Fears To Fathom, even though it is still going. And I'm going to rank each of the episodes in the order of which I liked the most. But I will mostly be talking about the things I liked in each of the episodes, as well as just explaining them, since I really don't dislike any of them. I think each of the episodes has something unique to it. And always remember, this is just my opinion, and don't take this the wrong way. But let's get straight into the very real world of Fears To Fathom. Now starting at the bottom of the list for me is episode 3, Carson House. This story follows an 18-year-old Noah Baker who is tasked with house-sitting his father's friend's house, whose name is Roy Carson. He's a founder of a media company. He gets offered to look over the house for the weekend for $100. I mean, damn, if I got $100 to sit down and do nothing in someone else's house for the weekend, you bet your ass I'm gonna. And it all goes downhill from there. On YouTube, there's actually a film recreation of the Carson house up on YouTube made by K Boogie Productions. I hope I'm saying that right. It's actually really great. I was so shocked at how well made it was when I watched it. They recreated so many scenes perfectly. All the scenes with the texting, even the casting was really great. The house fit really well too. I absolutely recommend it. Noah has recently broken up with a girl named Kara and gotten with a new girl named Evelyn, who messages you throughout the game. Throughout this episode, you go about doing things around the house. On night 1, you are first tasked with feeding the family dog. Then Roy messages you to get rid of some viruses on his computer. One of the main things I love about every Fears To Fathom episode is the absolutely masterful tension building. Every environment builds the most insane tension and dread I've ever felt in a video game. I don't know how to describe it, but there's never a moment of comfort when you're playing Fears To Fathom. Think of that indescribable feeling when you're alone and you feel like someone is watching you. That feeling is what you're always feeling in Fears To Fathom. No matter where you are, it's always there. Anyway, entering his office where the other door is conveniently blocked by the computer, things. Afterwards, he actually goes ahead onto his computer to remove the viruses. Along with that, we see the camera system set up throughout the house. I'm sure those won't be used later. Definitely.
I get really
If you're a fan of scary games, this next one is for you.
After fixing up the computer, Evelyn asks you to watch her favorite cooking show. And does someone care to tell me why this girl likes this demonic-ass cooking show? Like, what even is this?
So first, we are going to gently pour the cat food onto this conveniently placed pan on a stove. Listen to the sizzle.
Anyway, after suffering through the cooking show from hell, Roy asks us to go run to the store and grab some groceries for him. He gives us a list and some money, so we take the bike and head over to the store. It's here we meet some of Noah's friends, who tell us that our ex mentioned before was just here, but left right as we got here, along with saying some interesting things. We get back to the house and decide to finish up the homework we started, but as we start, we get a text from one of the friends we met at the store, telling us to read about Roy's ongoing divorce online. When he searches it up, he learns that fans of Roy's ex-wife have shown up to his house with confrontational intentions and with aggressive behavior soon after. Thankfully, it was just a pizza delivery guy, even though we didn't order any pizza. But he asks oddly if he can stay inside a little bit. We decline. Roy assures us afterwards over text that he ordered the pizza for us. So we sit down to watch some... Seriously, what the fuck? Until there's another knock on the door. But this time, it's a bundle of flowers. But he doesn't think much of it, for some reason. Here's where shit goes down. He wakes up in the middle of the night to strange texts from a random number, along with the dog barking outside. He attributes his lack of sleep to his paranoia, but he still goes to check the cameras in the office. After looking around and noticing that the oven has been turned on and the knife has been missing, he sees her. She creeps throughout the house until making it to our door, and stands outside. After a couple seconds, she speaks through the door. This girl is revealed to be his ex-girlfriend, and that she has been stalking him since the very beginning of the game. Then she threatens to kill him. He sneaks into the laundry room for a few seconds before escaping, when she's distracted.
Noah.
Ending the episode with the knowledge that she got arrested afterwards, and she was actually on drugs when she attacked us. Overall, when it comes to episode 3, I just couldn't find myself getting invested in the story. I did enjoy several parts of this episode though. I really liked the use of the cameras, and the actual reveal of seeing her in the house did have my heart dropped. That was about the scariest part of this episode. While not my favorite, it's a great episode. The next episode on this ranking is the one that started it all, episode 1, Home Alone. There isn't really a whole lot to say about this episode. It's extremely short, however the minor things it does adds a lot of fear factor to the game. Episode 1 follows a simple story of a 14-year-old boy named Miles whose parents are leaving for the weekend. He tries to set up a hangout so he's not home alone the whole time, but fails. One thing that this episode does that some episodes don't is the way to build fear. It's not thrown directly in your face and is something you'll sometimes stumble upon. Like at one point in the game, if you so happen to walk near the back of the house, you'll find the door opened already. This is something completely missable and adds so much fear. On the first night, you simply make some food and watch some TV. Afterwards, his mom reminds him to do his homework, and that's what the night ends with. Mason wakes up to text messages from his mom, the most important one being a man standing right outside his front door. After being instructed to lock all the doors, he hides under his bed. After a little bit, his neighbor rings the doorbell. He reluctantly leaves to see his parents' room's door open, and a shadowy figure awaits him. He rushes back to the room until the police do arrive. After some time, the man flees the house, and we can return safely downstairs, ending the episode. While this was an extremely short episode, it is such a terrifying real story that I feel like any kid would get scared by. This feels real. This is a threat so many kids have had to deal with, and it just hits so hard. Next on the ranking though is one of my favorite episodes that I really enjoy, episode 2, Norwood Hitchhike. Episode 2 follows a woman named Holly Gardner who drove out to a gaming convention and opts to drive home instead of flying home. While heading back, she stops for gas at a gas station in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, great idea. In there, we simply get our gas, but there's actually an achievement for just throwing stuff at the cashier. But in there, the cashier tells us of a legend in the area: to never pick up hitchhikers, ever. And if she sees a woman in a white gown, to keep driving and leave her behind. With that very pleasant information, Holly keeps driving. I actually really enjoy the drive in this episode. It's super chill, and being in the car after the unsettling information that was just given to you, it's almost comforting. Once we do finally reach the bridge, we find our path has been blocked off by 2 conveniently placed logs. Holly suspects that these were placed here by someone. Once Holly moves the logs, like every horror movie ever made ever, her car breaks down and her phone loses service. Now left with nothing else to do but sit around and wait for a car to pass and possibly get a ride. Now this is already where I enjoyed the episode more than Carson House. The plot is already way more interesting than Carson House, as with that episode, the first 30 minutes is you just doing things around the house. Even the first main event of episode 3 is just going to the store to buy groceries. While things obviously picked up later on, when it comes to this episode, I was hooked immediately. I started getting actually uneasy just minutes into the episode. The plot was just more interesting right off the bat. After reluctantly waiting to catch a ride, after some time, a car does stop for her. A man named Jason, who she actually met earlier at the gas station, does offer her a ride. She puts her bags in the truck and they get going. After a short drive, Jason drops her off at a motel called the Roadway Inn. As Holly leaves the car, Jason warns her to stay safe, then heads off. It's now 12:08 a.m. After Holly enters the lobby, she meets the motel manager, Joe, and pays him for a room and some roadside assistance for her car that's still out there. She receives the key to her room, and Joe says his employee Tommy will help her out with the car in the morning, as well as warning her to not wake up the other guests. Like, I wasn't planning to, but okay. Also, one other reason why I put this episode higher than most people is I myself love motel and hotel vibes so much. Something about just staying away from home, or the rooms, it's always been something I loved so much. So that was another thing that really appealed to me, as opposed to other episodes. After entering her room for the night, she hears noises in the bathroom, where this happens. It's revealed that the person in the bathroom is Tommy, and that he's just finishing cleaning. He also tells us the phone in the room isn't working, because of course it isn't. After that, Holly lays down to try and get some sleep, only before realizing after the man is gone, she can't sleep anymore, because why would you be able to sleep after something like that? So she opts for a cup of coffee. I don't know how she left the room after that, like seriously. After getting a coffee, she realizes it was spiked and starts sedating her. But once she reaches back to the room, she realizes that the same man is hiding in her closet, but she knocks out after the sedative fully kicks in. She wakes up later to being woken up by Joe, who confronts her about being noisy and disrupting the other guests. Holly explains what happened with the coffee machine, only for Joe to tell her that the motel doesn't have a coffee machine. Holly desperately tries to show Joe the machine, only to realize it's no longer there. Joe orders her to go back to her room, leaving some sleeping pills to try and help her. But before she gets back to sleep, a strange man knocks on her door, asking for help. As Holly declines and asks him to leave, he becomes more and more aggressive until he actually starts to break down the door. Holly hides in the closet and watches as the man breaks in and starts to search for her. After some time passes of the man searching, Joe sneaks into the room and ambushes him. Joe told her not to call the authorities as to not negatively affect the hotel. Holly sleeps through the night and takes her car in the morning. She believes that there is some sort of cult in the area. She swears to never take road trips again, and to listen to her dad next time he tells her to take a flight. I seriously love this episode so much. It had so many creepy moments with an aesthetic I could actually get into. It wasn't like the first 2 episodes that I spoke about previously, where it all just took place in one singular house. The motel is such a cool setting, along with the story I could get into immediately. All in all, this episode could easily be interchangeable with the top 2. And with that, I'm gonna end part 1 of this video. While originally this was gonna be one single long video, the next 2 episodes are quite long, as well as they're both so genuinely good that they deserve their own video entirely. The second part of this video is going to be covering episode 4, Ironbark Lookout, and episode 5, Woodbury Getaway. Not gonna spoil which I rank higher yet, you'll have to wait for part 2 for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can know when part 2 drops, because I promise you it's a much bigger video than this one. So until then, bye bye.